Let's see. There is less than 5 days left to win this GK64. If you haven't entered already, all you have to do is go onto my Instagram, follow, and then leave me a comment. I will direct message or DM the winner Friday. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, how was your weekend, Jet?
My weekend was great. Spent it out in Staten Island.
Staten Island.
Came back to Jersey on Sunday. Just took it easy.
Dude, no vibe today? No way. All right. Let's see. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Jake. What was it? Let me ask you something, Jet. What does this look like to you?
What am I looking at?
Can you see it on the screen?
No, you haven't pulled anything up. Now I'm seeing it. Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Dude, you know, I used to go hiking in Utah all the time, and I ain't never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Strikingly resembles something.
Something. I'm trying to put a finger on it.
Yeah.
Oh man, so did you hear about this kid? I'm just gonna start off with some stupid stuff right now. Okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
We started off a little bit early, but
there was no sound to this video.
All right. So this guy, the story goes here while it loads.
Obviously, that's the suspect walking in, engaging in conversation with the victim.
All right. So the story goes that this old man, he's like 93 years old. He came into the office to talk to the apartment manager about fixing his pipes because, you know, there's like water leakage and all that stuff.
And there's also an email in the office who's blurred
and he just shoots him.
The old man.
He's 93 years old. I can't, like, for whatever reason, this shit ain't loading. Let me just.
Well, who did he shoot though? Like
the apartment manager, right?
That's. He killed him, or?
No. He shot his legs. I'm trying to show the video here, but it's taking forever.
And at that point, just now, the suspect fired around through the computers.
So he fired around already, but like,
the wall
watch him whip out that gun and how casual he is, right? So he lets this like lady go.
This is our other victim who was on the phone with dispatch. She's able to convince him to let her leave, and he lets her leave.
What's going on with video today, man? Jesus. He's a gangster, man.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right. This is fruitless. Let me just see if I could get to the part where he shoots him in the leg. So he shoots him in the leg, and then he shoots him in the other leg while he's down, and then the police come and they shoot him, but they miss. It goes straight through his jacket. But I tell you what, man. After all the fucking, All right, well, you see him on the ground. He's
Fires the first round at our victim.
look at him just casual with his hand in his pocket and everything. I don't know. He's a gangster, man.
Yeah, he's no joke.
All right. We're moving on from the videos because it's just not fucking working.
Damn, the guy's hurting on the floor.
I
There's
know,
no
dude.
sound to this video.
This old man just came.
I know, right? Insane.
Obviously,
That's
that's
wild.
the suspect walking in, engaging
That is
in
wild.
conversation with
Yeah,
the victim.
he's 93, dude. If I was, I tell you what, if I was 93, I'd fucking shoot a person for not, fixing my goddamn pipes,
Yeah.
All right, so this marathon runner kicks a dog out of his way. Did you see that?
No.
Boom. Boom. Fucked up, dude. Fucked up. For sure. But, anyways. That's enough of that crap. I wish Vibe was here. So, Subaru put out this, like, new, this new car. And it has a new system. Woo. What is that? It has a new system unveiled at the Singapore 2020 Motor Show. It's called the Forester Ultimate Customized Kit Special Edition. It stands for fucks, right? How did this get past legal? How did this get past any PR group? I do not know. But yeah, man, for a limited time, you can get this special kit, a Subaru Forester Fucks edition.
Well, maybe they feel like it's a good marketing or something.
Maybe. I mean, it did the job. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I'm just gonna put this in chat here since
Is that tea that you're drinking?
oh yeah, that's some wonderful decaf tea. I got a new desk, man. It's like longer. I have like more
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
to do.
I've been drinking more tea. I've been drinking more tea lately because I got really sick last week and I couldn't move off the damn couch.
Yeah. Well, it's good for my digestion and stuff, Keeps me chill instead of twacked out. Coffee makes me twacked out or it makes me like fall asleep. So I don't even bother with it.
Yeah, coffee's like lethal.
Yeah, man. So, have you heard of this chick? I'll probably talk about it on Thursday, but Brenna Spencer. She is famous for taking this photo. That's like her with a gun and her being a woman Trump supporter or whatever. Surprisingly enough, I might be able to get her on the show.
Really?
I don't know. What do you think? Jake, what do you think?
I'm a little behind with this.
Oh, with the stream?
It's a little slow.
Huh.
I see her now.
Yeah.
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 I think you should get it.
I know. She's super fine, man. She is.
That's your dream girl.
I know, dude. She's
Make
married.
America great again, girl.
Yeah, I mean, she's married though. She's married now, so I don't know.
Well, maybe she knows somebody else.
Maybe. Again, very thankful my girlfriend isn't here right now. But yeah, I'll see if I can get her. I'm planning to get some guests on this show for sure. That she would be one of them, and another one would be McAfee. I've been really toying with the idea of getting more guests on the show. That would be really cool. All right, one last thing, I think, you know, I always like sharing keyboard stuff, so this guy, he's like a no-name dude. Oh, I do need to get more viewers for that stream. I mean, we had a good turnout last week. I don't know how many people are on right now, but the show must go on. So there's this dude who's doing custom keyboards, right? He's kind of, I don't know if he's a well-known person. I've never seen him before, shoot. But he's doing a full-size keyboard, except the numpad is on the left and the arrow keys are on the left side. I actually really like that because, you know, it solves the problem of you know, that 60% we're supposed to solve is like, you know, you need to be able to reach your mouse on the right. But having the numpad on the left, you know, you don't have that problem. And I have my numpad on the left. I love this. I can't wait for it to come out. All right.
Never really thought about that, but it looks like it looks interesting.
Yeah, man. You know, when you get the numpad on the right, your mouse tends to hit it. You know, if you want your like mouse and keyboard close together.
Yeah.
So this kind of fixes that. I mean, and how often am I going to use the numpad with my right hand? I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
All right, here we go. Let's go to one of yours, man. The significance of halal guys.
Yeah. So, just to explain that, I do these like slice of life pieces for my blog, and this was basically like a recount of my early days at Halal Guys, like my first learned about it, the person that took me there, and the music I was listening to, among other things. So I wrote that up, and I pitched it to some Reddit rooms, some subreddits as like, is Halal Guys the best halal car in the city? And you know, just sparking up a conversation about halal guys in general. Now, I know this is not going to be such a relevant topic to people outside of New York, but, you know, it's a lot of people come to New York, so.
Well, if you don't know what Halal Guys is basically a cart on the street, and they sell you it's kind of a Middle Eastern themed Euro plate with rice, lettuce, and pita bread. And they're the best in the city. I see them out in the city all hours. The line is usually down the block, and you know, people come from all walks of life to, you know, eat Halal Guys. You know, you see like, and it's cheap, you know. And the best thing about it is, you know, you plop down the sauces. The sauces are pretty much, I think, in my opinion, what make the dish, right?
Yep, I agree.
They have the hottest hot sauce, and this white sauce is amazing. You know, ever since I've had to go vegan, this has been a really big problem for me. But I'm quite convinced now that I've, you know, learned a little bit about vegan cooking, that like I can make this with you know, some vegan ingredients.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah. You know, I just need to get the sauce. Actually, the sauce is probably what is going to be the rub on this, for sure.
You can always pick up their sauce.
Yeah, but I think they use dairy. I don't know. But I tell you what, dude, it's so worth it if you're ever in New York to go and find a Halal Guys truck. And now there's a lot of knockoffs, right? Sometimes they'll have like a Halal Guys on one side of the street, and then a knockoff Halal Guys on the other side of the street.
Yep.
And one is the right one, and you can only tell if you've had the food before.
Yep.
Frank Ocean.
Yes. Yeah, that was another one. Well, that article I put in there because it did extremely well. I had almost 3,000 hits on that article.
The Frank Ocean?
Yeah, about him being a total flop.
How is he a flop?
Well, the argument was that he was supposed to be at like a Beyonce slash Rihanna level of like superstardom, and he's really just like a cult following type of artist. And the gentleman Charlemagne the God was very disappointed with the 10 years that he put in from 2010 to 2020. When he first came out, there was a lot of anticipation. So this started like a huge debate on Reddit, and most people were pissed at the article because they feel like Frank is not a flop and he's dope and they love all his projects. That was most of the reactions that I got. Yeah. So I'm not a huge Frank Ocean guy. I like a couple of songs, but I think when he first came out, he was pitching towards like being a straight man, and then like his music slowly evolved into like being about his life as a homosexual. So I could see that being something that might have changed his career trajectory, since
Well,
music is not really.
I mean, I'm kind of out of pop culture a bit. I don't know how often he releases things, but he does have a very, very strong following. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I would describe it as a cult following for sure. Whether that makes him a flop, I don't know. I mean, one-hit wonders are flops, but I also wouldn't consider him a one-hit wonder as an artist, right? Like, and you probably know this because you do music, and with all the punk rock bands or hardcore bands that I grew up listening to when I was younger, they still play shows and they're still around simply because they have that cult following. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can get a cult following, that's a business, and no matter how many years go by, those people will come to the shows and they'll, you can still do a tour. So good for him. Maybe he just didn't. I guess what you're saying here is that he just didn't quite live up to the hype.
Yeah, I think he was kind of pitched as this next big thing, and he really was not that. He was something else, and he just kind of he kind of stayed himself, and that's what he is.
Yeah.
And The Weeknd kind of took the spot that everyone thought he was going to take, I would say.
Damn.
The Weeknd became like more of the superstar and kind of changed his music to a more pop lane.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here.
Whereas Frank kind of stayed quirky, weird, and kind of doing his own thing.
Yeah.
So
the steam smoke is, I've been vaping. I just, I don't really stop vaping. Yeah. Sorry, is it bugging or what? Okay. Bernie Sanders slammed by Debs. This is another one of your articles here.
Yeah.
So, is this regarding him saying that no woman will ever become president?
I think you can tie that into it. Basically, they're just saying he's not a team player, and they want to like edge him out.
Oh, you're talking about the politicians themselves want to edge them out, not people.
Yeah,
okay.
They say his campaign is too divisive.
It is a little bit, but he's got a very strong following. He's got a cult following.
Yeah.
Howdy doodly.
Oh, John. Hey, buddy. Welcome.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No, I'm really happy that you showed up. Vibes out today, I guess. But
all right.
So we're talking about Bernie Sanders. I actually really want to backtrack and get your opinions about a whole bunch of things, but Bernie Sanders voices concerns over the Democrats want to edge him out, apparently.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that's how we led the stream, was with a rock with a stream on it.
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you see something different, I mean, let me know. But, yeah, I've been seeing a couple articles of, you know, him saying to Elizabeth Warren that no woman will ever win.
Yeah.
And she's confirmed that, as far as I know. I wonder why. I didn't really look into it too much. Partially because I just don't feel Bernie's... Like, everybody needs a Bernie, but they don't need him as president. Does that make sense? That's just my opinion. But, you know, everybody needs a Bernie.
Well, you brought up an interesting point earlier that he has a cult following. He's probably the only one that has a cult following out of the Democrats. And Trump has a cult following, so I think...
Yep.
I think that those two going head to head would make probably an interesting matchup, but I still think Trump might win with Sanders because Sanders is too far left. But ultimately, I don't think anyone else has the support that Sanders has.
It's varying. You know, Andrew Yang's become the internet sensation, and Andrew Yang recently got endorsed by Dave Chappelle.
Really?
Yeah, Dave Chappelle, and he's gonna be doing 2 shows to kind of like rally that, I guess. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. He's also who else? Who's that guy? Oh my God. Gambino. What the?
Right.
Donald Glover.
Gambino.
Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
Donald Glover is now.
Have you seen his comedy show?
I saw it a while ago. It was pretty funny, but he's making. He's the creative consultant for his campaign now. I don't know if you guys caught that.
No, I didn't.
But he's getting a lot of these pretty cool celebs. Anyways,
I guess I've been sleeping.
I've just come in to pop by and say hi. I've started my league ranked match. So have a good VAM show, fellas.
Oh, all right, John. Have a good one. Peace.
Thank you, John.
All right, more news. Coin. This is not what I was looking for. I guess while we're here, 1 in 5 Americans use a smartwatch or fitness tracker. I just want to know what the obsession is with like trying to track everything. You know,
I think it's a sense of accomplishment.
They want to track their sleep. They want to track, you know, how fast they run, how many steps they take. I mean, I don't know. How many breaths does one take? How often one has sex? I don't know. How often one faps? I mean, there's plenty of things we can track. Plenty more that we can track.
Yeah.
What I really wanted to show here was Coinbase Pro launches on Android. So if you don't know what that is, so there's like the regular retail Coinbase, and there is like the quote pro trader Coinbase that gives you cheaper fees. So if you're gonna go buy cryptocurrency, it's better to buy cryptocurrency from off Coinbase Pro and trade on Coinbase Pro than Coinbase regular.
Really?
Yeah, it's because they charge like I think it's like a 5% fee, and for 2 or 3% or something like that. And on Coinbase Pro, it's significantly cheaper. It's like a fraction of percentage or something. I don't remember exactly the numbers, but it's just Coinbase takes a lot, and Coinbase Pro, makes it cheaper. So.
Well,
And it was originally on iOS, and now it's on Android, which makes it accessible to me finally. One day we're gonna move away from this, like, let's launch on iOS first, and then launch on Android.
one day, but I don't know when that day will be.
Yeah. What is this that Jake posted? $2 trillion on military equipment. We are the biggest and best in the world. If Iran attacks on... let me just open this. Oops. Let me just open this. The biggest and by far the best in the world. If Iran attacks on an American base or any American, we will be sending some of that brand new beautiful equipment their way without hesitation. Ah, that's from January 5th, huh? I don't know, man. We spend way too much money on that stuff. You okay, man? I'm hearing all sorts of ruffling on your side.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm fine. I don't know where the ruffian's coming from.
Oh, weird. $2 trillion is a lot of money, dude. I feel like we could be using that for other things. I've been watching this show called Messiah. Have you heard of it?
I've been toying with the idea of watching it. It looks cool, but I don't know. It looks a little pretentious.
It's interesting, to say the least. Basically, yeah, like you're right, Jake. Like the Australian wildfires. It's basically like if Jesus, or a Messiah of some sort showed up, like what would happen, right? And they kind of leave the back door open to kind of keep you guessing whether or not he's even real, and they ended the season that way as well.
Right.
I think why I'm bringing it up is that he has a conversation with the president at one point. The president kidnaps him and wants to have a conversation with him. Has a conversation with him, and he says, commit to world peace by pulling out all U.S. troops from all over the world. And then it kind of got me thinking a little bit, like, what would happen if we pulled out U.S. troops from everywhere? Of course that would leave us open and vulnerable, but we are the world superpower, military superpower, right? I mean, what kind of message would that be to the rest of the world if we just pulled out? Anyways, just got me thinking.
I don't think the U.S. I don't think we really know why the U.S. is in the places that it's in. There's always a few different agendas.
I don't know what the deal is in Iran. I don't know why. All I know is that one day we killed the general, and then the next day they strike back.
Well, we weren't in Iran. We were in Iraq.
Yeah.
And we killed him there. And we're still there. I thought we were getting out of there. I thought that was the whole thing with the election. Apparently we're not. So it's we must be there for some kind of monetary gain or something.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're there.
Oil, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me switch over to royal family drama, huh?
Well, yeah, this was a big story. So the royal family is leaving. Well, not the royal family. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, are leaving the royal family. and they're only gonna be like part-time royal family people. They're gonna move to
Wait.
Canada.
What? How do you
Yeah.
how do you leave the royal family?
This is a real thing. Well, you leave London and you go somewhere else,
Wait,
basically.
you become a citizen of some other place?
Yeah, they're going to Canada, and you just pursue. They want to become financially independent from the royal family.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, so then what happens to the royal family once they leave? Like, who is the royal family once they leave? How does that work?
Well, the royal family stays the royal family. He is not in line to be king. Like, he is in line, but he'll never become king because there's just too many people before him.
Huh.
So it's like, it doesn't. I don't know how much it would actually affect the royal family. But it is very odd and very like anti-establishment. And
Yeah.
the queen is kind of like giving her blessing, but everyone suspects that she's really not too happy about it. So
I mean, Canada's.
I don't know.
I mean, Canada's been a safe haven for many people. You know, like I'm half Filipino, and all my relatives have like moved over to Canada because it's just easier to get there than the U.S. Jake, are you Canadian? Wait, Prince William. He was like a 90s heartthrob, right?
No. He was a kid in the 90s.
Or early 2000s, or was it Prince Harry?
No, Harry was the 2000. Yeah.
William Young. Yeah, dude, look how handsome this kid was, man. Bam. He was an icon at one point. And then what happened to him? Dude, that's terrible.
He met Meghan Markle, man.
And then lost all of his hair?
No.
I mean, look at this. Look at the
joking?
picture of him, dude. He's a supermodel. What the hell? And then, oof. Boop. Oof. Boop. Oof.
It happens to the best of us.
I guess. I really worry about losing my hair. Maybe that'll happen one day.
Does
Good for
God
you,
have a
Jake.
set?
Toronto's where it's at.
God
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
set?
right. He should be in a hair commercial. I don't. Hey, man, maybe American healthcare, universal healthcare. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Universal healthcare might be great. I don't know. All right, let's go to R. Kelly. GF flips on him. He has a girlfriend. Who would date him after the show? You know.
The ones from the show. This is one of the ones from the show.
What?
So she's gonna cooperate with the authorities to like keep him in jail.
Yeah, Jake. I really hope that. I mean, I don't know. I've never experienced free healthcare. You know, I know it's had some rough patches. How are the wait times? Wait. So she's seeking counseling to recover from R. Kelly. So she's not his girlfriend anymore. Is that the
No,
point?
she left.
Yeah. Okay. And
But what I mean by flipping is she's like cooperating with authorities now against him. So if you saw the show, like basically her parents were like trying to free her from R. Kelly's clutches, And there's one scene where like they think she's in the studio and they're trying to get her out of the studio, but she won't come to the window and she won't come to the door, and it's like really disturbing. And then she ended up appearing on an interview with R. Kelly and Gayle King, and just talking about how much she loves R. Kelly, how happy she is, blah blah blah. And that was the first time we've ever seen her in public. And then basically what followed is, now that R. Kelly's like in a bunch of legal trouble, she's totally flipped the script on R. Kelly and the other girlfriend, because there's another girlfriend, and she's cooperating with authorities and accusing the other girl of raping her when she was a minor,
Jesus.
as well as like trying to bury R. Kelly along the way. So it's a crazy story.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
She now feels she was brainwashed, manipulated, and mistreated by Kelly.
Yeah.
So she's flipping the script. So she's like, oh, I don't have to fear this guy no more because he's already in pounds and pounds of trouble. So now I can speak out. Well, I mean, good for her.
Yep.
I mean, it's got to be really hard for people who were involved with him to come forward like that. And, you know, once enough buildup happens, let's see these comments. That would be funny. R. Kelly has no good songs? All right, I'll have to disagree with that there. I mean, he's clearly done some pretty bad things and is delusional, but he's got some good songs.
That's one of the hardest parts about this.
I know. I know, right? Why? Girl ain't nothing. Okay, never mind. Why didn't she get help after her suicide attempt? Why? Because her father was the reason. Okay, she tried to commit suicide. It's actually kind of hard to go for help after you try to commit suicide. Nobody really wants help when you try to commit suicide. Listen, I went through a pretty bad patch, and I've been in and out of like like hospitals and stuff. And you talk to any one of them, including myself at the time, like nobody really wants to be there. Nobody thinks that they necessarily need help if they're in that kind of situation.
Yeah.
You know, they feel utterly hopeless, and so, you know, even the thought of like getting help is not an option because they think it's not going to help. Oy, that's a sticky situation. What's this last one? Yeah, going on here. Star Wars has allegedly leaked, and it's much better than The Rise of Skywalker.
This is a good story, man.
Huh. So
Can I preface this one?
Yeah, do it. I mean, I didn't even read it.
So the original director of this last Star Wars was Colin Trevorrow, who worked on the Jurassic World series. And he apparently had a totally different movie written called Star Wars Duel of Fate. The movie really continued off of The Last Jedi and kind of stayed in the vein of The Last Jedi without trying to like backstab and like retcon and do all these things that I feel like Rise of Skywalker did, which made the movie feel really messy. And this guy's script was really like, it sounds great if it's real. It sounds great to me because I feel like they just stick to these characters that they created and they do them justice and they make them interesting and they make their story interesting instead of relying on nostalgia, which is what I think Rise of Skywalker did.
Yeah.
And I just really like the story that he put together. I probably would have done something similar myself if I had written the movie.
So this was a script that never got made. This was supposed to replace the trilogy that we've all recently seen.
Yeah. No, this was just supposed to be part 3. So a couple of things to note. In this version, Kylo Ren does not get redeemed. He gets killed, I think, which makes way more sense to me because I don't think a guy that killed his own father should be redeemed. I think he should be stay above.
Yeah,
You know,
right. I think I would
yeah,
have to agree with you on that. Yep.
yeah. I mean, no one's past redemption, but these are movies, and like we don't need to see him redeemed. Like, let him stay bad. Ray kind of kicks a lot more ass in this movie. There's a lot of more good fighting, like between space fights, as well as lightsaber fights and stuff like that. And it's a lot more just about Kylo Ren and Rey's like journey, rather than like intertwining them with like Luke and this one and that one, and it's more focused. It kind of uses the characters that The Last Jedi introduced, even though a lot of people don't like them. I'm not crazy about them myself, but I feel like The Last Jedi was made, and this movie would have been better if it acknowledged it more than it actually did. Because The Last Jedi is not a bad movie. It's just people didn't like it because he took some risks with some of the characters, and people just wanted him to play it safe, like Abrams did, but he didn't. But this movie kind of like just acknowledges everything and just takes it in a really, really dark but interesting direction, without having to bring in any old baddies or anything like that. And it's just a good movie, and it makes the First Order seem a little bit more scary and a little bit more legit.
Yeah.
The Knights of Ren, like all the new characters get a lot more screen time and are just treated better overall. Whereas I feel like Rise of Skywalker kind of treated the old characters better. But by part 3, we should have been totally invested in the new characters. And
Right.
we weren't. We were still invested in the old characters, and that was the mistake of the sequel trilogy.
So,
in my opinion.
is this thing available in the subreddit?
Yeah, I mean, there's bullet points that I read a whole bunch of bullet points that explain the script. It's called Star Wars Duel of Fates. So
The
Trevorrow
iron
was
grip
taken
of the First Order has spread to the farthest reaches of the galaxy. Only a few scattered planets remain unoccupied. Treacherous acts are punishable by death. Determined to suffocate a growing unrest, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has silenced all communication between neighboring systems. Led by General Leia Organa, the Resistance has planned a secret mission to prevent their annihilation and forge a path to freedom. That's a great opening.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's yeah, you know,
Like the
making
First
Kylo
Order
Ren and making all those guys like, you know, like
a
really
real threat.
Right. A real yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they were reduced to a joke in this third movie, and it's
Yeah,
basically
for
always
sure.
holding up to it.
I mean, yeah. And
I mean, I know you like the movie more than I did, and
What?
you know it is what what
you know, I've increasingly got like super frustrated with it. Like,
okay.
let me just make the distinction that I like the movie from like, you know, hey, let's like watch a movie that doesn't require much thinking or anything like that, and it's in the Star Wars like universe, right? Do I respect the movie? No, I don't, and it kind of irritates me. You know, I wasn't invested in any of the characters. I probably won't see them again. You know,
No.
and that's that. You know, I wanted something more, and I was really disappointed in that. But if I remove myself from that and I'm just looking at like, hey, like, let's just go see like some stupid, like, let's watch Fast and the Furious 6, you know,
Yeah.
that's Star Wars themed. That's what it would be for me.
Yeah. Check out the bullet points, man. Check out the script, and let me know, like maybe on next week we can follow up on this, because I liked what I read. I definitely liked. I think it did more justice to Kylo Ren and Rey and Finn and Poe and what's her name, the Asian chick, Rose, and yeah, I definitely think it did them justice.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a note in there for a follow up on that. Also, You know, what if we took the cast? What if we took the cast of like Batman Begins? Oh no, Batman, fucking The Dark Knight, and then put him into the next Star Wars film. I think it would do really well, actually.
It might.
You know, I get a hard on for Tom Hardy. Anywho.
There's a lot of like speculation surrounding, like they may like retcon the entire sequel trilogy at this.
They just need to take it down like it was a bad YouTube video.
It was a botched attempt at a sequel trilogy. It wasn't a sequel trilogy.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. They need to redo that whole damn thing over again.
Yeah. The main problem with it is just that they didn't use one vision. Like they just like kind of like did these one-offs with it, and it didn't work. It was a terrible strategy.
We have asked Apple for their help in unlocking the shooter's phones. So far, Apple has not given any substantive assistance. This situation perfectly illustrates why it is critical that the public be able to get access to digital evidence once it has obtained a court order based on probable cause.
I can't get behind this, man. The government's trying to unlock this killer's phone for evidence, and I don't know, man. What do you think Apple should do?
Can you give me a little info on it?
Basically, there's this. I actually don't know who the Pensacola killer is, and I brought this up. I know I brought this up, but Pensacola shooting. It was a shooting at a naval base, and the U.S. is trying to unlock the gunman's phone for photos.
So you can't get behind them unlocking the phone?
Nah, man. It's just because then that means that that gives the government a backdoor always to anybody's phone. To a degree,
I can see both.
To a degree, I kind of understand, right? Like if you're collecting evidence and you're trying to get like a search and seizure of somebody's like home, then that would be an invasion of privacy. I'm waiting for Jake's response right now.
Jake looks hungry.
What do you mean every single time it'll be the same thing? Right. Yeah, you're right, Jake. That's like the point I'm trying to make is like every other time something happens and like to what degree people will just always have a back door. That is a bit concerning to me. All right, I think this will be the last one. Maybe. Emotional intelligence. People who use these 5 toxic phrases have very low emotional intelligence. This article is kind of weird, so it's like not really clear as to like what those 5 things are, I guess. But wait, what are you saying, Jake? What were you worried about? Oh, okay. Can't you just? Dude, I've had like bosses tell me this, like, can't you just do this, or can't you just do that? I don't know. It's not really clear to me why this is like a problem. I know how you feel. So I'm just gonna like move on from this. I know how you feel.
What's wrong with I know how you feel?
You know, I think some people are like really what was the joke, Jake? I think some people get like really uncomfortable sometimes because when you say like, hey, I know how you feel, you know, like you say if somebody's like venting towards you, right? And you say, hey, I know how you feel, it sometimes makes certain people feel like you're minimizing their experience to something that can be completely relatable and quickly understood. I mean, I don't have a problem with this phrase at all. Like, when somebody says, I know how you feel, like, it's actually kind of comforting to me, but like, sometimes some people are like really sensitive over it, and I think it depends on the severity of like what they're talking about, right? So like if I came to you, Jet, and I said, hey, I've got AIDS, and you were like, yeah, I know how you feel. Well, you don't have AIDS, you know?
Yeah, it boils down to whether I believe you or not when you say I know how you feel.
Explain.
You want me to explain it?
Yeah, what do you mean by...
So if I'm like, you know, I'm having a rough time with like something, and I know you haven't been through it, but you say like the example you made.
Oh.
You say I know how you feel, and I'm like, yeah, no, you don't. But you know, I honestly.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Whether you believe the person who is telling you, I know how you feel.
Yeah, because you can get
right.
yourself into like very common situations,
Mm-hmm.
and they may or may not know how you feel, and you may not know, but you'll just know like, oh, I don't believe this person, you know. They don't know how I feel.
Right.
Well, they could be a sociopath and just they don't feel anything, but they just say, I know how you feel.
Hey man, I know how you feel.
Yeah.
Any version of how's everything good? I guess by not saying like how's everything, but saying good afterwards is I guess a way of him, you know, like filling in the blanks without actually conveying to the person that you really want to know how they feel. I don't know. I didn't really get that one either. But
You just be optimistic.
yeah, I can see in some context somebody telling me like, hey, how's everything good? You know, and then me then beginning to think of like good things. So I don't know about that one either. But you always, this one, you always or you never. This, I think, is a big one. My girlfriend says this to me often. I was going to say always, but then I realized that I would be doing exactly what this thing is talking about. You always ignore me, or you never turn things in on time, or you never do the dishes, or you never do that, or you always do this. It's a black and white, very negative thing to say, because not always does somebody do anything.
It's a false generality.
Yeah. But it makes you feel that, you know, the situation is almost hopeless with whomever you're talking with.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I don't know. Sometimes this phrase is harmless. It's basically an oral reminder to yourself. Somebody starts out by saying, I went to the doctor last week, and you reply, oh, that reminds me, I have to put my doctor's appointment in the calendar. Please continue. So I do this all the time. But other toxic examples are, I got a scary diagnosis last week, but it turned out to be a false alarm. That reminds me, I have a coworker I used to have who got a positive test, but it turned out to be a mix-up. Okay, so this is just not like reading, not reading the room or not reading whomever you're socializing with.
Yeah.
This, you got to be, I think, pretty bad if you pull this off. I think sometimes I do this because I'm just self-absorbed. Hardcore Wind 166. Hey man, thanks for the follow. Thank you very, very much. On Mixer, you've got to be like our first follower on Mixer. How long have you been watching? I don't want to fight, but okay. No matter what you say in the second half of the sentence, it could be replaced with, but I'm going to say something that could start a fight. I mean, I think it's right up there with I'm not a racist, but I'm about to say something that could be seen as racist. I don't know about this one. I mean, sometimes I find myself saying stuff like this. I don't, so am I supposed to just like not provide any context at all? Is that the deal? What do you think, Jet?
I'm sorry, I had to log off and log back on. I had a technical difficulty. What's the question?
No worries. Okay, so we're talking about I don't want to fight, but. So, the article says it's right up there with I'm not a racist, but I'm about to say something that could be seen as a racist. Or
it's not up there with that. It's not up there with that one.
It says, no matter what you say in the second half of the sentence, it could be replaced with, but I'm going to say something that could start a fight. I really don't know, because maybe there's other ways to do this. I know my girlfriend's like more emotionally intelligent than me and can like frame her words properly, but sometimes I gotta say things like that. I mean, am I just supposed to say something that could be seen as racist without prefacing that? Like, it's not meant to be taken so seriously, or what? I don't know.
You have such extreme definitions of racism nowadays. Like any little generality is racism.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, that's it's a very fair point. Oh, I really wanted to talk with you about this, Jet, real quick. Here, let me link this in chat. Let's see. We got 2 minutes. The U.S. is considering a new system for releasing key economic reports. The Trump administration plans to restrict the news media's ability to prepare advanced stories on market-moving economic data, according to people familiar with the matter, in a move that could create a logjam in accessing figures such as the monthly job report. So basically, they haven't really released any details about this yet, but normally when these economic numbers come out, they lock all the people, the media, the press in a room, and they're not connected to the internet, and they compile the information, make sure that it's accurate before they provide those people in the room internet so that they can release it all at once. I don't know what it's going to look like in the future, but it's kind of a weird thing. It's a glimpse into how the government kind of goes in and manages press releases for everything, right? And this goes back to even the Obama administration. Like they did something, similar. They tried to change it a little bit. But it'll be interesting to see how this thing develops in the future, and what they end up proposing, and how it affects everything. But like something like the economic report, that can either give somebody else a bigger advantage or make the market extremely volatile. But since I know that you're part of the press, like how do you feel about the government kind of stepping in and kind of regulating how you release that information?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think the government should regulate how you release information, because then that kind of negates the idea of a free press.
I mean, is there anything in your experience that you've had to like kind of go through being somebody from the media, like where you felt like whoever you were interviewing or whatever had like little do's and don'ts that they wanted you to comply with?
There was one instance where I had a gentleman who was very diva-like. He wanted certain things done for the camera, There was another instance with a big pastor. He wanted to know what my questions were before I was going to interview him. I sent him my questions, and then he declined to do the interview.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had a few issues, but not much. And then I did have some experience with the White House when I went to cover the Hurricane Sandy. President Obama was in Staten Island at that time, and I was going around like trying to get some interviews with him. And with the White House, they only allow like certain journalists in. So, needless to say, I wasn't able to get in and get any kind of like pictures or write about Obama at all. And I honestly don't even know if there's any actual pictures of him in Staten Island, which is funny. But I did see his silhouette through a tent.
Huh.
But the White House is a very controlled environment for sure.
Yeah. Huh. All right, man. I think that's it, unless you have anything else you want to bring up.
No, I'm good, man.
I think Thursday we're still on. Lux will be co-hosting on Thursday. That will be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern for our West Coast folks. Thanks everybody who joined. Great to meet you, Hardcore Wind and Jake. You guys really made it special. I'm not sure who else was watching because I don't have all the numbers out in front of me, but thank you very much, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jet.